Hello, everybody. I'm going to try to explain how you can use Google Sheets to create a graph with a linear trend line and to actually show the slope of that line in Google Sheets. So I have already taken my data. I have my stretch and my forces in Google Sheets already. So I've put my stretches in meters, my forces in newtons. Make sure you are putting the units up here with the title and not with the actual numbers. Otherwise, Google Sheets will not realize it is a number. It will instead think that it's a word and it'll try to graph that. So the next thing I did is I highlighted all of that data. So if you notice, it is kind of shaded in. I'm going to come up here to Insert and go to Chart. You can also click over here on the little picture that looks like a chart. Either one will work for you. And ta-da, there is my graph. Now, sometimes the graph will be the kind that I want. This one appears to be the kind that I want. If it's not, then what I have to do is I have to actually, let's see if I can move this somewhere. Nope, I just flipped it. I was thinking there was a way that I could flip it to somewhere else. There we go. I'm going to move it down here so it's out of the way. So when you first get a chart, it should have an edit chart. It should have this little chart editor over here set up. And my chart happened to figure out that I wanted a scatter chart. But if it doesn't, it'll give you other different options. It'll be either line like this. That's a common one that people think they need, or something like that, a smooth line. I don't think I see many column graphs. But if it doesn't pop up that scatter, you got to come down and select scatter that looks like this. What that's going to do is plot the points versus basically think of these as XY ordered pairs. The next thing we have to do is come over here to where it says customize. And the chart style is perfectly fine. For your chart and axis titles, I would make sure that I give it some kind of title. If you title your columns over here, it'll guess at a title, so it'll actually pick that. But you can also click where it says chart title, and you can select horizontal axis. So this one allows you to change that. Again, whatever you put in this A column, it's going to guess that that's going to be it. So that would be stretch for me. And then I can click over here where it says vertical axis, and I could put in a vertical axis, but it already figured that out from what I put in. So I don't need to do anything with my chart and axis titles. The next one I definitely want to do is this series. So don't worry that it says force here. That just is picking whatever's in the B column. But you're going to actually scroll down here until you get towards the bottom down here, and you'll see where it says error bars, data labels, and trend line. You want to put a little check mark where it says trend line. The default is to do a linear trend line, so it'll draw a line through your data points. That's the default. You can change the color if you really want to. It's not necessary. But the other part that I definitely want you to do that we have done all year is where it says label, I want you to click where it says none. I want you to select use equation. You can do the show R squared here if you want. I'm going to put a check mark just to kind of show it, but it's kind of up to you. And what happens up here is now it says force equals 7.92 times x plus 0.0324. R squared equals 1. The R squared equals 1 just tells me my data matches perfectly to the straight line. So my data is right on top of that line, or as close as it possibly can. So this is a error kind of idea. This 7.92 would be the slope of this line, because this is drawing, it's giving me the equation of a line. So y, whatever's on the y-axis, force, is equal to mx plus b. I do actually have a little b here, though technically if I was not to stretch my spring, I shouldn't have any stretch whatsoever. The only reason it does have a b value here is the length of the spring itself in the setup. And this is how we do it. And then I don't need my chart editor. And then to actually put this in, if you click on this, you can actually right click on your graph, and you should be able to, actually, if you click on these little dots up here, it should allow you to copy the chart. And if you copy the chart, you can then insert it into something else. The other option is if you click on this and hit your Control C, that should also copy the chart. If you click on your graph and come up here to edit and go to copy, that should also copy it, but any of those should do it. The easiest is hitting those three little dots and doing copy chart, and then it will copy your chart into wherever you want to put it. So that's how we make a graph in Google Sheets and use that to actually find the slope of our line, draw our trend line in here. I hope that helps.